It's WNCW, Eric Bibb, playing live today. And doing the chair dancing, too, I should say.
Yeah.
Actually, I should mention we've got Mary Hughes here doing some video work, so we'll get this, hopefully get this video up
That'd
here in
be
a week or
nice.
so. Yeah.
That's the thing, you know, these days. Before you even turn around and get off the stage, it's on YouTube, man.
Man, you can't mess up, can you? Don't fall
well,
asleep.
you can mess up, and you do mess up, and you just have to swallow your artistic vanity because we're at that point where you just can't call it back. It's out.
Is that good or bad for an artist? Probably both.
It used to bother me. It used to bother me. And I thought it was a bit unfair that we couldn't really exercise quality control before the world saw what we were doing in a given moment. But there is an upside. The upside for me is that, first of all, as I said, you get over that vanity thing. Nobody is going to have a perfect show every night. And all artists know that, and some fans might know it. But also, it just makes you really give it your all the time because, yeah, there's evidence and there's a historic record to think about, your legacy, and you do your best. You let go and you give it all you got.
So that's happening tonight at the Foundation.
Yeah.
That's Thermal Community College in Spindale, North Carolina. I love watching you play that guitar. I think you played it before.
I've played this guitar before. I have a lot of guitars, but I don't take them all on the road. And the ones that do end up being my almost constant companions have a very special feel.
Wait, what's the story on this guitar?
I saw a guitar in the window of a shop on a street full of guitar shops in Paris a year or so ago, a little bit more than a year ago. And it just caught my eye. It just had a very interesting look. It's an all mahogany guitar. Yeah. And it had a logo that I didn't recognize, but it just looked seriously good. And I went in and I tried it out, and I really loved its stability. I thought this is a really good touring guitar. Some guitars, you know, they're just so refined and so exquisite that you don't really want to subject them to the rigors of the road. And other guitars have a certain, what can I say, a kind of stability and a certain ruggedness at the same time that they're well-made instruments that really tell you that they'd be really good on the road. It's made by a guy named Maurice Dupont, who usually makes Machiavelli type of guitars, gypsy jazz guitars. But he's made a couple of these all mahogany flat tops. And I think for some reason he was able to, well, they got in touch with him. The Larsen brothers, they were guitar makers in the last century and the century even before that, immigrants from Sweden, and they made that big prairie guitar that you might have seen in certain magazines, a huge guitar. But anyhow, it's now a defunct, they no longer are around, but somehow their logo has survived, and Maurice Dupont is maybe somebody who the company decided they'd like to let him use their logo. So this is called the Larsen Brothers guitar, made by a guy named Maurice Dupont.
It's a beautiful guitar, I can tell you that. Gosh, I know we got to get you another song, get you moving, but you did get to play Booker White's guitar. That was kind of cool, right?
That was a great experience. Booker White, also known as Bucka White, he didn't like that nickname, but his name was Booker. But he was one of my heroes from that whole tribe of pre-war gentlemen and ladies who traveled around letting country blues find its way into the hearts of all kinds of people who were, I'm sure, living lives that were far from the lives that they lived. But I remember hearing Booker White's music, you know, back in the 60s when he was rediscovered, like Skip James and Mississippi John Hurt, people like that. He had a really vigorous style of playing his national guitar. A great slide guitarist and a wonderful singer. What happened was I was in concert in northern England, and a guy came up to me at the end while I was saying hello to people and signing CDs, and he said, by the way, if you're interested, I'm the owner of Booker White's famous dueling guitar, and I could come by your hotel in the morning if you're interested, and you could have a play.
And you said yes.
And I said, let me think about it. And he came around at 10 o'clock the next morning with a bunch of cameras and the guitar and a really good-looking brown leather case, and took it out, and there it was. And it had Booker White's handwritten set list that he'd written on some hotel stationery, scotch tape to the side, old yellow scotch tape.
That's the coolest touch of all.
Yeah. And he had adhered some kind of homemade juju, kind of charms to the headstock, a heart. And it was a guitar that I'd seen in photos, and he'd obviously had it re-chromed because it was really shiny, and he was probably a dapper guy who thought my guitar needs to look slick, so he had it re-chromed at some point. But it's a guitar from the 1930s, and it played just beautifully. It just rang like a bell, and I ended up writing a song about that experience, meeting Booker White's guitar. And then my friend who owns it said, "Hey, man, you should record that song on the guitar that it's about, And I said, great. And I found a quick window of time in between tours to zip up to Newcastle, and we zipped into a studio, and I was able to record Booker's guitar with that guitar. I don't perform that song a lot. It's almost like I want to wait until I can do it again on Booker's guitar. But the connection that I felt to Booker White, being so close to an instrument that he'd held close to his heart, for years and years and years, was amazing. I felt so privileged to be so viscerally connected to him and his tradition. It was just really a gift. Yeah.
That's another great story.
Yeah.
Eric Bibb's playing tonight at the Foundation Isothermal Community College. We got to get another song for you if you've got one for us.